discussion about the pricing for
It made everybody start thinking about things differently. Everybody started saying,
yeah. And then about the
change here. That's unusual, you know, and it made them start thinking
it was about the loaves.
after we started attracting more, bike races and foot races, and how these people love the hills for those things, and how can we start attracting more of this type of investment, that type of investment. And it didn't get to that extreme of a downhill ski slope, but it made everybody start thinking, why are we not using our natural terrain as it is?
Me too. Like, look, that happened. Cookies.
It's no different. So we really started getting people thinking a little bit differently. And so that's what I mean, like, the tiniest little crazy out of the box concept
But you can just
can be the one thing that gets
hand it around.
now that's insane, but there's something there that's getting my mind up.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
we need him.
We need ants.
I'll go get him.
Kinda need ants. Kinda really need ants.
I feel you. Right here. I'm like, I feel you.
We'll get one for Eliza, one for Mom, okay? There, now push it. There, now push it. Push it towards me.
Let's do Thursday. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
First day back from vacation.
She is.
Oh, she had to get all the rest today. Yesterday and today. No,
There she
that was a clear. It's worth.
Nice job doing.
I wish I would have known that.
Wait a minute.
Ready?
That's how you arrive. Hey, everybody. That's how you arrive, Ann. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 21st City of Oldsmar Council meeting. It is 7:03 p.m. I am calling this meeting to order. Please rise, everyone. Before we get started, I'd like the Boy Scout troop, 413, to please come up front. I would really appreciate that. Bring the flags. Welcome. Thank you all for coming. I would like to have a moment of silence for Councilmember Jerry Walters. For those of you who didn't know him, Jerry was a former council member and a longtime resident. He remained active in life of the city long after his time on council, often coming to the podium at meetings to ask pertinent questions and keep everyone on their toes. When Jerry would come to this podium, when he spoke his words, he talked about how much he loved this city. Please keep Jerry and his family in your prayers during this moment of silence. Thank you. Our invocation will be led by our city attorney, Tom Trask.
Our Heavenly Father, we meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, as well as the rights and needs of both the individual and our community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings in our deliberations and our efforts here today. This we pray. Amen.
Amen. Our pledge of allegiance will be led by Troop 413. You have the floor.
Color guard, attention. Audience, attention. Color guard, forward march. Scout salute. There's not with the guard. Color guard halt. Color guard, please present the colors. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color guard, please post the colors. Color guard, honor your colors. Color guard, reform. Color guard, retreat. Color guard dismissed. Audience at ease.
Everyone be seated. Let's give a round of applause for Sports Scout Troop 413. And we did that for you.
Thank you.
All right, next item on our agenda is the Oldsmar Public Open Forum. Each speaker will be recognized once and will be limited to 5 minutes. Presentation on any subject except our public hearings. Please state your name, your address for the record. The open forum will conclude at 7:30. Is there anybody that would like to speak on, oh, Jerry, come on up.
Jerry Beaverland, 512 Pine Avenue South. I've always said this, well, I want to say, to our incredible city clerk, we love you, the city of Oldsmar is lovely. Thank you for everything you've done, because the city is a better place now because you came here. Thank you.
Thank
you. And I'm going to hurry, Mayor. I know you feel like the downtown redevelopment is an important thing, is it not, Felicia? It brings a lot of money into the city, doesn't it? Downtown redevelopment. It brings millions of dollars into the city. When everybody said that I had killed it back in 1992, I actually saved it. Has anybody ever seen the bronze plaque? I'm gonna tell you where it is. It's in front of City Hall. You've never seen it. Could we take that bronze plaque up, shine it up, and put a pedestal out there in front of City Hall and put that bronze plaque of where we created the downtown redevelopment? Have you ever seen it? Can we do that? Please? Because nobody ever sees it, because it's hidden behind the bushes. Do you have your special gavel?
The big one? That's yours, right?
Do you have it?
Somewhere down here.
Yes, it's my gavel. When I was mayor, I gave it to Jim Roniker, and Jim Roniker gave it to Doug, and Doug gave it to Eric, and now Eric gave it to you. One of us, can we put our names on it, the mayors and when they served on that gavel? Do you have it down there?
Yes.
Show them.
It's big.
I know what it is.
Oh, boy. It's heavy.
Now, that's the gavel. That's the gavel I gave Jim, and Jim gave it to Doug, and Doug gave it to Eric, and Eric gave it to you. That's the gavel I had when I was mayor, and I passed it on. Could we please have our name put on it? Maybe the new city clerk can do that. Okay, I got that said. At the last council meeting, there was something that happened that I come to talk about it afterwards. When I ran in 1990, I ran against an incumbent. Now think about this. This person was on council in 1998 and 99. This person has spent $2,400 in travel expenses. $2,400. That was a lot of money back then, and I campaigned against that. I said, when you serve up here, the first time I served as a council person, I got a silver dollar a year. A silver dollar a year, and then they didn't give it to me. Somebody else in the town gave me that silver dollar. When you serve on council, I'm not talking against money for the council members when they travel, and that's not my point. I've served the mayor about almost 12 years and on council for 29 years. And how much money have I spent on travel?
Zero.
I always paid my own way. Council, when you serve on council, you do it, you want to serve the citizens of Oldsmar. And to have a council expense, I would have voted against it. But I'm not up there, huh? No, I want to let you know how I feel about it. I voted against expense, to raise the expense on the council, travel. It's okay to have that, and it's okay to pay the council to travel. But that's not what you're serving for. You're serving to serve the people of this beautiful city of Oldsmar. Mayor, I did it within 5 minutes.
Thank you, Jerry. All right, anyone else on this side like to speak? Come on up.
No, you go ahead.
Vince Albanese, 404 Jefferson. Just a quick note that the Neighborhood Association is meeting at Tico Hall tomorrow evening, 6:30. Cuban Breezes is helping us with some, if we need to entice everybody to come. The agenda here is that we're working on identity and adding some harmony and look and feel to the downtown neighborhoods. So specifically some ideas. We're gonna have a contest about possibly naming the area, giving us a little bit more of a community feel, and also some things that we can do and help sponsor to add some color and character to what we're doing here. So this is open to anyone, very simple message, and we're really looking to bring more community, harmony, and a sense of us belonging to the neighborhood here. Melissa's been instrumental in this. Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to, Melissa Como, 301 Park Boulevard. I just wanted to update. Eliza, my daughter, came last city council meeting and asked for support for her mileage fee. The ONA gave her a grant of $500, and then since last meeting at Second Friday, she was able to, and with Dave, of course, she was able to raise $250 on her own, so she's halfway to her goal of raising $500 on her own. So she'll be at Oldsmar Days and Nights this weekend with us. So come stop by and say hi, and want to donate to her project. That would be wonderful. So thank you.
Okay, so spirit of entrepreneurship, and a young lady who will never forget speaking and addressing city council here, is raising her own funds and money, and that is going to get her peers in order to reward them with things from the school store to encourage them in support of our, what's the term? Our walking
School.
school, but anyway, the bigger program
Routes
here.
to School.
Safe routes to school. Get kids out on their bikes walking to school. So even our youngsters are participating. Anyway, 6:30 tomorrow night, Tico Hall. I'll get that out there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come on up.
Hi, my name is James Hummel, 132 Arlington Street. We just had the Armadillo 5K run this past Saturday, and Saturday evening I had 26 calls on my phone, and believe it or not, the city of Oldsmar violated codes and ordinances. Let me read this to you, and I have the mayors of Frank Hibbard, Clearwater, he resigned, but Dunedin, Safety Harbor, and the mayor of Tampa would come and testify that they have this ordinance and Oldsmar does not. After March 7th meeting, spoke with Daniel Simpson, Director of Public Works, regarding upcoming Armadillo Run on Saturday, March 18th, 2023. Stated following: course markings need to be done with chalk on pavement or sidewalk, not spray paint that stays permanent. Daniel Simpson agreed with me that it needs to be chalk. Following cities have ordinances against paint on pavement or sidewalks: Clearwater, Dunedin, Safety Harbor, Tampa. Friend Kelly Taylor, athletic director at Countryside Country Club, had done her first 5K run. They sprayed arrows on street. Clearwater City Hall supervisor came to the site and advised her code and ordinances doesn't allow any arrows, markings on any public street, sidewalk, building, etc. She was giving until sundown to have the arrows removed, or the country club would face a $1,200 fine. Kelly now uses just arrows, and she does it on the cart pathways. Any city ordinance or state guidelines does not allow any event, nonprofit, or organization to override or not to abide to state or local law. City needs an ordinance against defacing public property, not abiding by ordinance rules. So the only solution is you get liquid black tar and go over the arrows, or you get spray paint. And if the individual says, I'm a nonprofit and I fail to comply, the city then, according to the mayors that I spoke to, especially Jane Castor, they do it and bill that organization. And then when their permit comes up the following year, they have to prove to the city that they deserve a permit. We want our residents to follow and honor codes and procedures. It's the same for everyone. We take 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. Let's do things right. I tried to reach out to the director to make a donation at American Running Club that was put in the bags. We tried 10 times to locate Mr. Stephen Walker. We could not by email or phone. So please, Oldsmar, don't take negative criticism because American Running Company did not step forward. I worked there and we stepped forward. We were willing to make numerous donations. So going forward, if we're gonna mark courses, let's use chalk and let's use arrows. And please, what Mr. Daniel Simpson and his crew work for, let's take the yellow arrows off of that street that he paid in any street that has arrows. And let's make our city look beautiful and proud. And enjoy your retirement, Ann Nixon. You deserve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, James. Anybody else on this side of the room would like to speak to the city council? Come on up, please.
David Llewellyn, 212 Bengal Circle. I have been attending meetings, informational presentations about the library residential project since late last year. And I've also been to the hotel review. I've been to the planning board.
That's on the agenda. You can speak to that during that time. It's a public hearing.
Okay,
Is that okay, David?
that's fine.
Okay, is there something else you would like to speak to the council about?
No, that's
Okay,
it.
yeah, that's, I believe it's item 12.
Item
12, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else on this side would like to speak to the council? On this side? Come on up, David.
Dave McDonald, 124 Shore Drive Place. Just want to go on your phrase, Councilmember Gannon. What's beyond ironic, last week we spent probably a half hour, 45 minutes on a $500 overage on Mayor Siraki's budget, and you were so diligent, and Councilmember Graver was so diligent about how we had to do this, and Councilmember Knapp was so diligent. It's $500. We got to be responsible to the citizens, and so to use your words, beyond ironic. Okay, I see that you last 2 weeks ago or whatever approved to pay for an attorney. You didn't even have a contract in front of you. You didn't even know what his rate schedule was, and you didn't have a scope of services. And by the way, he's got a $14,000 bill on this agenda, okay? So you're so diligent about $500, but you don't even want to address that you did something wrong 2 years ago, and it's cost this city $70,000 or $80,000 in legal fees now, and your own affidavits in court were found to be really, wrong, okay, by saying that you never had ethics training that said you couldn't have meetings outside the city when we proved that you did by the Florida League of Cities, and you still want to continue this fight and not admit that you did wrong, but the $500 is important. We got to stop that. But the $80,000 or so dollars you're spending in taxpayers' money on this lawsuit that you have to know you did wrong there. There's no doubt about it. And you just keep on going. And that's a lot of money, more than $500. So just think about that, because it's really beyond ironic. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else on this side would like to speak to the city council? Mayor Beavis, come on up.
I heard there was a hot mic, but I don't know if, that one's off. So, Doug Beavis, 359 Bay Arbor Boulevard, Oldsmar, Florida. And I first want to say, Mayor Beaverland has already spoken, but I mentioned this earlier at the presentation that Mayor Seidel and myself and Mayor Roniker, Mayor Seidel is ill and so wasn't able to be here tonight, but I wanted to be on the record that the three of us and yourself as well got to work with one of the best city clerks in the state of Florida, and so I'll put you up against anybody. So we're really proud about that. I also want to let you know that this weekend we have Oldsmar days and nights. Also, the parade is at 11 o'clock. We have one of the biggest turnouts that we've had so far, and so far we're at a record for vendors as well. And to the gavel question that was asked, Mark doesn't know this, but Joe and I held an executive meeting back in the corner over here because we had a quorum. And we have decided, James, that the chamber is going to go ahead and coordinate with Bay Shore Trophies and the city clerk's office to get that done. I thought we should have done it long ago. I thought it would be neat to be on that band. So we'll go ahead and get that coordinated with you. We just want to make sure we get the names right and the years right. So other than that, I think that's all I have. And I'll just say this. You could always withdraw the lawsuit. So
Mayor Beavis, before you leave, I just want to say one thing real quick. I believe we're all going to be there this weekend at the Oldsmar Days, and I would really appreciate if you'd let the council come up.
Sure,
To
yeah.
welcome.
I think somebody's coordinated with Mark to
Okay,
do
good.
it in between bands. It's just
Yes.
really busy. The only person I don't know about the parade is Jared. I haven't heard back if you're in the parade.
I just got back from vacation, so I'm still trying to go through a bunch of emails, but I am in the parade. I plan on being there. For the
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because we're super short on Oldsmobiles because they don't run like they used to anymore, so.
Right, I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you for coming up.
Thanks.
All right, anybody else on this side of the room would like to speak to the council? Anybody else in the entire room? All right, then I'm going to close the Oldsmar Public Open Forum. Next item on our agenda is the community minute, and it's the last time our city clerk, Ann Nixon, will be reading our community minute.
Oh, just a reminder, Doug just told us, Oldsmar Days and Nights, March 24th through 26th at RE Olds Park. Oldsmar's longest running weekend festival, hosted by the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, is a free family-friendly event featuring car shows, musical guests, mouth-watering food, art and craft vendors, a parade, and spring sunshine. Details at utbchamber.com. Annual Recycling Day, save the date, Friday, April 21st, 8 to noon at Oldsmar Sports Complex, providing residents and businesses the opportunity to properly dispose of unwanted papers, electronics, and medication. No more than 5 boxes per vehicle for shredding, eliminating electronics or medications. And then, once again, we have the new pop-up art project. Residents are encouraged to stop by the rec center, the library, or city hall to pick up butterflies to decorate for the 2023 pop-up art projects now through May 1st. For details, visit oldsmarpopupart.com. My time is short with this establishment and its regulations, so I'd like to add a declaration. Get your butterflies and decorate them. Add beads, draw golf carts, glue feathers, however you want, with any gobbledygook. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ann. We're going to miss you. All right, our next item on the agenda is approval of new agenda items. It's items 4, 9, 17, and 18. I need a motion for approval.
So moved.
How about a second?
Second?
I got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on our agenda is awards and recognition, and that will be handled by our city manager, Felicia Donnelly.
Would you like me to help you with that? Yes, I would like to.
So, Ann, it was my turn to give the council manager award. And so, obviously, I wanted to give it to you. So we've already spoken, but it's my pleasure to give you the council manager award. And I would like to invite the city council and the mayor and city attorney down to assist me.
We're coming.
I'm good.
So, in an attempt to honor your wit, we have a poem for you for the council manager award.
You ready? In Oldsmar, a city so fine, there lived a clerk who served in kind. For more than a decade, she gave her time to help Oldsmar really shine. Since 2010, she held the post with dedication. She did her most, bringing technology improvements close to make cities' processes boast.
With Laserfish and online agendas at hand, she made sure that the city's work was grand, taking lots and lots of minutes carefully, making sure there is transparency. She coordinated advisory boards with great poise and created a council handbook to deploy, guiding elected officials in their duties with ease, making their service a joy to seize.
The Janice Miller Academy, Citizens Academy was her pride, serving dozens of residents side by side. Supervisor of elections for the city, she did abide, helping customers with patience and a smile so wide. Processing hundreds of public records requests, with care and efficiency, she did her best, making sure every need was met with no requests left, a true professional, always at her best.
A veteran, she served her country with pride and brought her skills to Oldsmar's side. Caring for the people, she never tried to hide, her heart always warm, never cold inside. She coordinated proclamations with ease and brought holiday sharing fun to a great release. Hope you can hold, she supported with peace, always doing good, her kind acts never cease.
With great passion, she worked with the community, guiding them through complex regulations seamlessly. With utmost dedication, finding solutions anew, creating a brighter future for all, not just a few. Her puns and humor filled the city with cheer, making every day a little brighter, a little more clear. Her wit and intelligence were always near, a true joy to be around year after year.
As she retires to Tennessee with her family to reside, we honor her service, her deeds with pride. She lives a legacy, a story to be told worldwide, of a city clerk so kind and bold, a true guide.
Thank you, Ann Nixon, for all that you've done for making Oldsmar a better place for everyone. Your hard work and dedication will never be gone. We will miss you dearly, but your legacy will live on. Thank you, Ann.
Our next item on the agenda is our Community Redevelopment Agency. Vice Mayor Buckman, do you have anything to disclose?
Yes, I disclosed my resident address. I've been so busy lately, I apologize, I didn't write it today. I live in the CRA, my home residence is there, and I will be filing paperwork with Ann within the next 14 days.
All right, our next item is the presentation of our CRA annual report. Tatiana, come on up.
The mic went like so. There it is.
So this report is being filed to document annual redevelopment activities of the Oldsmar Community Redevelopment Agency for the fiscal year 2021-2022. This report is prepared and filed consistent with Florida Statutes 163-371. The Oldsmar Community Redevelopment Agency is required by the Community Redevelopment Act to submit a progress report of the year's community redevelopment activities. The report is due and must be reported to the governing body on or before March 31st of each year. This is a draft report since the audited financials are not available with this submission. According to the Florida statutes 163-371, if the audit report is not available by March 31st, the CRA must publish the audit report on its website within 45 days after the completion. The completed audit report and the trust fund will be available by mid-April on the city website. So the following slides provide major CRA activities. Major CRA activities in the fiscal year 2021-2022 were related to the downtown redevelopment, including two main sites, the City Hall site and the library site. To learn more about the city's effort, please visit the city's Maintain webpage, which describes in detail the progress work associated with each of the project sites. You can just type in Google downtown redevelopment, and you will have the page that is demonstrated right now on the PowerPoint presentation, and you can click either on the City Hall site or the library property. The following slides will just have a brief information on these two properties. So the first is the library property site. The city is currently finalizing an amended development agreement, which is on this agenda tonight. This development agreement is with Devon Rushnell LLC to construct a mixed-use development consisting of 82 residential townhomes, 18 live-work units on the property which is adjacent to the library site. The project will offer a new walkable area to explore and create a transition connecting downtown and residential areas. And the developer provided an updated site plan in 2022, which triggered the amended development agreement terms. In 2021-2022, City held multiple open houses related to this project, and the updated site plan was favorably received by the community. The updated site plan is featuring an increase in the green space area and also provides access to garages from the alley in the back. The live-work units that are on St. Petersburg Drive are unchanged from the original plan. The improved site plan also includes outdoor area with the potential for a cafe. And overall, the project is consistent with the Oldsmar CRA goals to create a walkable and vibrant downtown. The next site is the City Hall site, and on May 3rd, 2022, the City Council suspended negotiations with Woodfield Development. The City Council also directed the City Manager to engage the public and the professional consultant to create a request for development proposals for the city-owned property. On June 21st, the City Council approved an agreement with GI Consultants to conduct a community workshop to establish a community vision and mission for the 8-acre site. And on July 20th, GI Consultants conducted a community vision and workshop with about 100 participants. If you missed that meeting, you can watch the video on YouTube for that meeting. And as a result of the workshop, the City Council approved the mission, vision, goals, and objectives presented by the GI Consultants to be included in the letter of interest. In 2022, GI Consultants reviewed the 9 letters of interest that were received and made a recommendation to the City Council regarding requests for proposals to be sent to 5 developers. Those developers are Falcon Group, Persian Development, Stanbury Development, Woodfield Development, and Skyview Companies. The City Council will be actively working in 2023 to further refine the process and criteria for the RFP to be issued to these 5 developers, and the review of the RFPs will continue in 2023. In fiscal year 2021-2022, City also worked on St. Petersburg Drive Complete Streets project. The City was awarded a Complete Street grant in 2019 for a portion of St. Petersburg Drive to improve and beautify this main collector road, a portion of which is located within the CRA. In 2021, the City received 100% design plans and conducted open houses for this project. In 2022, the City also initiated undergrounding of the utilities for this project, and construction phase is currently budgeted in fiscal year 2024. The Complete Streets project goal The goals of the project are to improve the safety for all users and to enhance roadway experience by installing streetlights, park benches, landscaping, hardscaping, resurface roadway, excuse me, and add parking where appropriate. So we also continued in fiscal year 2021-2022. We continued to promote our homeowners paint and fix up grant program in the CRA. The paint up fix up grant program provides matching funds up to $1,000 to homeowners in CRA that want to complete exterior beautification for home improvements projects. These projects could be exterior painting, replacement windows and doors, landscaping, irrigation, front porches upgrading, replacing shutters, etc. Applications must be approved by the city before any projects are started. And since program implementations, over 80 applications have been approved and over 62,000 distributed to homeowners. For application information, you can reach out to our department at 813-749-1123 or visit City Hall site at 100 State Street. I also have flyers, but I left them in the car so I can bring the flyers during the meeting and distribute the flyers. Final paper copies of the CRA annual report will be available at the City Hall and City Library. An electronic copy will be available online at myoldsmart.com.
Great job. Thank you so much. Are there any questions for staff? Anybody have any questions? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tatiana.
Thanks, Tatiana.
Next item on the agenda is our consent docket. Does anyone wish to pull anything?
Would you like me to read it first?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead, read this consent, I'm sorry.
Item number 3, approved minutes of the February 28, 2023 work session on golf cart ordinance review, council member expenses, and council volunteering. Item number 4, approved minutes of the March 2nd, 2023 executive session. Item number 5, approved minutes of the March 7, 2023 council meeting. Item number 6, approved payment to legal counsel for February 2023 legal services. Item number 7, approved payment of legal services to Bartlett, Loeb, Hines, and Thompson, PLLC, BLHT, for Eric Seidel's litigation defense. Item number 8, approve awarding 2023-003-ITB, invitation to bid, bleacher replacement at Oldsmar Sports Complex to Southeastern Seating Incorporated. Item number 9, approve purchases of miscellaneous utility appurtenances, including meters, backflows, valves, and hydrants from Core and Main LP for same pricing terms and conditions of City of Boynton Beach contract number WH22-047, piggyback 23-021. Item number 10, authorize the advertisement of 2023-007-ITB, invitation to bid, replace doors and frames in park bathrooms.
Thank you, Ann. Does anybody wish to pull any item from the consent docket? With that, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 11, City of Oldsmar, Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce Business Assistant Program presentation. James Poulter, you're going to be doing that for us. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Commissioners. My name is James Poulter. I'm the current board chair for the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. I felt like it would be appropriate for us to give kind of a mid-year update to our partnership with the Business Assistance Program. There's several slides on here. I'm going to give a quick highlight overview of all of them. So if we want to go to the next slide, that'd be great. So we've had a relationship, obviously, with the Chamber and the City. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year between the Chamber and the City. So it's something that we're all very, very proud of. Next slide. So as I said, my name is James Poulter. I'm the CEO with the Chichi Rodriguez Youth Foundation over on McMullen Booth Road, actually in Clearwater, but it's really not that far away. And I'm the current board chair for the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. And we'll keep moving forward. So here to give a quick brief overview, the topics that we're going to review tonight, the Oldsmar demographics that we currently have that we've presented out in the community recently, along with The business assistant agreement, kind of the key areas that we are focusing on with an economic summit, our We Mean Business program, participating in city, county events, along with other collaborations and partnerships. To talk a little bit about a pilot job shadowing program that we have. We also coordinate ribbon cuttings and assist with social media campaigns in partnership with the city and the chamber. So just a quick brief overview. There's going to be plenty of slides coming through and a lot of information that I'm sure you've all read prior to the meeting and then will be available online as well. But Oldsmar is the youngest city by population median age of all of our neighbors, and we are getting younger. I would say that the city averages more than double the amount of businesses to population of any of our neighbors, and Felicia likes to say that we're upside downtown in regards to how our taxes come in. I heard her say that this week too, so I'll throw that in there. So the population of Baltimore is around 15,000. The median age is about 37.9. The millage rate is 4.05. You can see some of the other data that's on there. So we'll just keep, in the essence of time, just kind of keep moving through the overall information. I think some key items to look at there in comparison to other cities where Altamont sits in overall total population, along with number of employees per resident population, and then the average earnings there as well. Sits really high, actually, compared only just behind Safety Harbor for our neighbors. So that's some strong information that we have there. So expected population growth within Oldsmar, our current population of just under 15,000, and by the expected population by 2040 to grow to just under 20,000. We talked a little bit about the median age in Oldsmar being just under 38 years old, and compared to other areas, these areas in Tarpon Springs, Dunedin, you see a lot more retirees that move to the area there. This is really interesting as well in regards to the median home prices. Altamar in 2021 sat about 281,000 compared to our neighbors. I think that there's an opportunity there for us to continue to stay affordable within the housing market. A little bit of information about unemployment in the area there that we can just kind of have there, just as part of the package. And commercial real estate, so this kind of gives a breakdown in regards to different classes of commercial real estate that's available through the Pinellas County Economic Development, and there are partners within our business assistance program as well. Along with some more information from the county to help with the local economic impact that we have in the area. This is a slide, a breakdown of Altamont by business type. Lots of different percentages on there. I say it's very broad, it's very wide. There is a selection of all different businesses that we cover there within Altamont. And different industries too. So you see that health care and social assistance is 15% of an overall of 7,800 workers there in the area. This data was from 2020. So a little bit about the community data in 2020. 80% of workers in Oldsmar drove alone to work, followed by those who work from home. I would imagine if we had some data in 2023, we may see some more work from home numbers within that. So a little bit about the relationship that we have with the chambers. So obviously the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, we serve Oldsmar, West Chase, Citrus Park, and Town and Country. Quick chamber overview, we have over 500 members. Approximately 37 of all the businesses are in Oldsmar and members of the chamber. We're very proud of that. And the chamber's areas of focus is to attract new investment in business, create new jobs through corporate relocation and expansion of existing companies, and to promote the area's assets to prospective employers, investors, and residents, and improve the community by encouraging planning, economic development, strong civic leadership, better education, and increased cultural and residential opportunities. So it's not just me standing up here tonight, along with our team, Mark Howe, Doug Beavis, and Joe Elmer. You have a board of directors that are all successful local business people or civic-minded people that are giving up their time to volunteer within the chamber. One of the things that we did as part of the agreement was that we held an economic summit on January 31st this year with all those businesses that were listed in attendance. And then some of the key economic takeaways: advantages of Oldsmar business: location, obviously, proximity to TIA, which I think everybody would agree is one of the best airport in the country. Aesthetically pleasing, the quality of life and work-life balance. There are a tremendous amount of parks in Oldsmar for people to enjoy. Regional access to talent, willingness of local government to engage from business perspective. Oldsmar makes them a priority. And the Chamber of Commerce is engaged and really willing to work with the local businesses. Disadvantages of being an Oldsmar business: no downtown or central hub. Is Jerry still here? It's okay. Good. Nice to be here. Linda's isn't here. I mean, question my downtown. Holds Oldsmar back from a family standpoint. The availability of attainable housing, both for workforce and affordability, for people to live in Oldsmar, for an entry-level position to be very challenging. And these are all comments that came out of that summit. So this was from everybody in the room. So how has your business changed since COVID? Workforce, obviously, supply chain issues, everything is more expensive, building security, and it's been a huge impact on kids, the social and mental effects on kids, and there's a lot more anxiety out there. Some of the key takeaways. Needed resources: continued engagement for the group, include young professionals or entry-level positions in conversations, business mentorship program for businesses to have a fireside chat and to learn from one another and help other businesses get better, and then courses on financial literacy. So the outcomes are these things that we're going to outline for our next event. Our next event is scheduled on June 15th. There is also a live link there that you can watch the video of the summit from past month as well. So We Mean Business is something that we do in partnership with the city, where we go out and visit local businesses. We've been to Case and Structal over the past couple months, and we're going to be going to BLAC and MI Metals coming up for the next couple months. Participate in city and county events. We've done city and chamber windshield tours with Pinellas Economic Development Team, monthly North County Cities Economic Development meetings, and we also have a bi-weekly meeting with city staff and chamber leadership. So fostering collaborations and partnerships. I think this is something that the chamber brings in partnership with the city. You'll see a list there of all the different partners that we work with. I'm very proud to say that this year, the Area Manufacturers Association, BAMA, and M-Skills both joined the chamber, along with long-time existing relationships with the Pinellas Technical College, the Pinellas County, and all the local support systems, and also something that was talked about tonight, the relationship that we have with the Oldsmar Neighborhood Association. Vince actually works with the program with the chamber for the Employee Retention Credit Program, and we ran some numbers that we've helped to secure over $1.6 million to 10 different Oldsmar businesses through the Employee Retention Credit Program. Overall, the program has secured over $3.8 million to the local community, of which a large portion of that will be coming through the Oldsmar Neighborhood Association to help support some of the proceeds that come from that, right, Vince? Okay. We are going to be looking at collaborating on a job pilot program. There's been a lot of feedback that we need help with this as far as pipeline talent comes within the local community. We also collaborate and have a pretty good routine that's tapped down now for ribbon cuttings in regards to our process on how we get the word out. And we have had some great ribbon cuttings over the past couple months there with some good turnout and some great businesses that have come into Oldsmar. One of the things that we did this year is to promote all of the Oldsmar businesses was a scavenger hunt that was very successful. Just a few of the pictures, if anybody was on social media you would see a lot more of the local businesses that got highlighted and promoted in that area. So assist the city with social media campaigns, pushing out the city comp plan, promoted the satisfaction survey, along with all the other things that go on with the city at all of our chamber events. A little bit of statistical stuff in regards to social media, the impact for the 4 months from October through January. Our Facebook reach there was over 100,000. Facebook post engagements, over 12,000 new Facebook followers, along with Instagram. And then we also started a LinkedIn page that has gained close to 300 followers already, and a high number of impressions on LinkedIn as well. So thank you for the support. This is my son there who plays for the Oldsmar Soccer Club, and my family in the top right. That was actually taken at Oldsmar Days last year. So my daughter also plays volleyball over at the rec center. So we enjoy the community along, and I think that picture was from the VCR night the other week when we had the VCRs out in the park as well. So thank you all for your support, and open to any other questions. And I'd also like to recognize our board members that are here today. So if you're a board member, please put your hand up. I think we have Sandy and Jason Sanders. They're currently here. So we do have some good board members in the room as well tonight to hopefully answer any questions that you may have.
Great presentation. Thank you for the update.
Yep.
Wonderful. Anybody have any questions for James? Anybody? I just have 2 comments. Anyone? Okay. First of all, I want to say one thing about We Mean Business, Mayor Beavis. I got to tell you, I wasn't really sure about it when I first became mayor, but I want to tell you that is a great program. Meeting the local businesses here in Oldsmar, you do a wonderful job with that. I just want to say keep that going. Thank you so much. And then the last thing I want to mention is, since Mark Howe, you have taken over the chamber, I think you're doing an excellent job, and you've really stepped it up a level, and I just want to thank you for your service. And James, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right. All right.
Thanks, James.
Next item on our agenda is City Attorney Tom Trask.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 12 on the agenda is a public hearing for consideration of the amended development agreement with Devon Rushnell LLC for the city-owned property located adjacent to the library. I'm just going to go through the memo that's been published in your agenda. As some background, the city owns approximately 9.45 acres of property adjacent to the city library between St. Petersburg Drive, State Street, and East Arlington Avenue, located in the community redevelopment area. The city purchased the properties with the intent of redevelopment. On October the 6th, 2020, the City Council authorized the city manager to enter into negotiations with Devon S. Rushnell LLC for the purpose of entering into a development agreement for this city-owned property with the intent of acquiring 6.20 acres of the parcel and developing the site with a mixed-use development containing 82 residential townhomes, 18 of which would have a live-work component. The city's Land Development Code, Section 14.7, outlines the process for the execution of development agreements. On July 19, 2022, the City Council adopted the original development agreement, and that was DA 2022-01 on the second public hearing. In preparation for the site plan submittal, the applicant's design team developed a revised site plan, including an alley-loaded 2-car garages, drainage culvert construction with paved road over the existing ditch, secondary exit at State Street, one-way only, revised parking, green space increased, community building, and additional green space at the northern section of the site, relocation of the pool cabana to a new green space and away from the abutting neighbors, additional offset of Building 8 further away from the abutting neighbors by 10 feet. While the overall site design layout, site size, geometry, number of units, and density remains the same as the originally approved site plan in DA 2022-01, the above described site revisions were determined to constitute material changes and therefore required to comply with Section 14.7 of the Land Development Code, triggering the initial DA approval steps and a revised development agreement. The overall project and proposed changes are consistent with the city's Land Development Code, the countywide rules, the city's comprehensive plan, and the town center plan. In accordance with Florida Statute 163.380, real property in the community redevelopment area shall be sold at a value determined to be in the public interest. To determine the value, The agency or municipality shall take into account and give consideration to long-term benefits to be achieved by the county, municipality, or community redevelopment agency resulting from incurring short-term losses or costs in the disposal of such real property. The uses provided in such plan, the restrictions upon, and the covenants, conditions, and obligations assumed by the purchaser or lessee, or by the county, municipality, or community redevelopment agency retaining the property, and the objectives of such plan for the prevention of the recurrence of slum or blighted areas. To demonstrate that the value is determined to be in the public interest, the following is presented. Number one, the long-term benefits of the proposed development agreement include furthering the city's goal to create a vibrant town center consistent with the city's town center code, the countywide rules, the city's comprehensive plan, and the town center plan, and creating a long-term benefit for additional ad valorem tax base. Number two, the uses provided in the proposed development agreement include a mixed-use development containing 82 residential townhomes, 18 of which will be or have a live-work component, enhanced streetscape, and public art. These uses support the city's goal to create a vibrant town center. Number three, in addition to the purchase price of $2.8 million, based upon an appraisal procured by the city in December of 2020, the other obligations of Rushnell include, and I'm just going to list them, a performance bond in the amount of the cost of the improvements, payment of all applicable impact fees, construction, landscaping, and maintenance of public space, including within the city's right-of-way along St. Petersburg Drive to State Street. Public space will include public art. Provision of access and maintenance easements as required for public utilities, relocation of the city's water main to the west side of St. Petersburg Drive, performance of all site due diligence, including but not limited to any additional surveys and environmental assessments, replat of the existing parcels of land, all site work, including but not limited to demolition or relocation of existing structures, a buy-in into the city's stormwater system, connect the project to the city's reclaimed water system, submission of a final site plan, including a signage and landscape plan through the city's formal review process, obtain all required permits, demonstration of concurrency and submission of concurrency test statement as required by the city's land development code, demonstration of compliance to the town center code, including but not limited to the architectural design and pattern book. Number four, the proposed development agreement supports the city's objectives to prevent the recurrence of slum or blighted areas by eliminating the unsightly vacant lot, supporting the city's vision of creating a vibrant town center, ensuring the construction of the proposed project within a specified period of time, and the procurement of a performance bond. Should the city council approve this amended development agreement at this hearing, a second hearing and reading of this development agreement will be held on April 4th, 2023, here at the council meeting at 7 p.m. in council chambers, 101 State Street West, here in Oldsmar. The planning board met on March 8th, 2023, and recommended the city council approve the amended development agreement with Devin S. Rushnell LLC for mixed-use development with 82 townhomes, including 18 live-work units. The recommended motion is to approve the first reading of the amended development agreement with Devin S. Rushnell for mixed-use development with 82 townhomes, including 18 live-work units.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. I'm going to open the public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on this? Please raise your hand. One? Anyone else? Come on up. Yep. Come on up, David. Yep.
David Llewellyn, 212 Bengal Circle. I have followed this project with interest, going to the original presentation, going to the revised presentation, going to the developer meetings, and the planning board as well. And I would strongly urge the city council to approve this project. It's the revised plan is considerably better than the original one. It's unquestionably needed project, and I think it'll make an improvement to the neighborhood besides. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for waiting and speaking. We appreciate it very much.
I'm staying.
Thank you, David. Anybody else would like to speak on this? It's a public hearing. Come on up. All right, I am going to close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second?
Council discussion. Anybody like to speak on anything? Anything?
Just real quick, just to add
Councilor Knapp?
just to add to Mr. Llewellyn's comments, I think the general consensus from our body is from the initial site plan to what is now presented and under consideration for us is considerably improved. Personally, I've had the pleasure of purchasing a property in a previous development by some of the partners in this group, and I think they've learned quite a bit from that development over there in Hayes Park Village, and it shows in this plan. So I'm really pleased with what's been done and the effort put in to take what was already a great product and make it that much better. That's all I have.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Councilor again?
I'm glad to see it back again.
All right.
You know, we had to go through the steps, right? Had to, go through the steps again, and I appreciate the patience of the developer and honoring that commitment that we have to follow the code and do the open houses again and follow through and stick with us through it. I'm excited to see it get going.
Anyone else? Nope. All right, I have a motion and a second. I need roll call.
Councilmember Gerber?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Buckland?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Councilmember Cannon?
Yes.
Mayor Saraki?
Yes.
First reading of the amended development agreement with Devon Rational LLC for the city-owned property located adjacent to the library passes with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Tom?
All right, item number 13 is a public hearing for the second reading of ordinance 2023-04. I'll read that ordinance by title only. Ordinance 2023-04, an ordinance of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, amending Article 6, Flood Control, Stormwater Management, and Wetlands Protection of Part 3, Land Development Code, of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar to exclude the cost of certain code-compliant mitigation and energy-efficient retrofits from cumulative substantial improvement. To adopt technical amendments to the Florida Building Code, providing for fiscal impact statement, providing for applicability, providing for codification, and providing for severability and an effective date. That was the second and final reading of ordinance 2023-04 by title only. You remember that on March 7th, the council passed this on first reading. I want to make sure that you understand that there has been a change since first reading. We have added a whereas clause dealing with the retroactivity of this particular ordinance. That whereas clause that I've added is that the city council has determined that the effective date of this ordinance should be applied retroactively to August 24th, 2021, when the current FEMA flood insurance rate maps firm were adopted, and therefore any applicant submitting a building permit application to the City of Oldsmar on or after August 24th, 2021 shall be entitled to the exclusions referenced in sections 3, 4, and 5 of the ordinance. I also want to bring to your attention that in section 10 of the ordinance, I've added the words applied retroactively to August 24, 2021. So section 10 reads, pursuant to Florida statute 166.041 paren 4, this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon its adoption and applied retroactively to August 24th, 2021. So those are the changes, and it's here for second final reading.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to speak? I'm going to open the public hearing. Vince, come on up.
Vince Albanese, 404 Jefferson. There's a subtlety here, and I want to applaud the work of the council here. The subtlety is that you become what you measure. And the ordinance as it existed in the past forced individual homeowners to play games in attempting to get through under the 50-50 rule. My prediction is that you're going to see permits are a good thing, right? It ensures the safety, the viability, the home ownership, and the value of our homes here. And my prediction is by eliminating the opportunity or need to play games with the 50-50 rule, you're going to see the number of permits go up, and that's going to have a positive impact for all of us. So I applaud the city for doing this, and for those of us that live downtown, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak against or for this item? With that, I'm going to close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any other council discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Graber?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Buckman?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Saraki?
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-04, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar to exclude the cost of certain code-compliant mitigation and energy-efficient retrofits from cumulative substantial improvement, to adopt technical amendments to the Florida Building Code, provide retroactivity, and providing for a fiscal impact statement is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
All right, thank you.
Item number 14, public hearing for first reading of ordinance 2023-01. I'll read that ordinance by title only. Ordinance 2023-01, an ordinance of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, amending Article 4, use of golf carts upon city streets of Chapter 66 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar. In Section 66-100, to provide that holding or possession of a valid driver's license is not needed for a person to operate a golf cart. Deleting Section 66-105 and renumbering subsequent sections. Amending Section 66-105, previously Section 66-106, to provide for optional registration of golf carts with the city. Amending Section 66-108, previously Section 66-109, to provide for an updated reference to Florida statutes for enforcement provisions of golf cart use, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date of this ordinance. You remember that on March 7th, 2023, the City Council authorized me to draft an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances to provide that holding or possession of a valid driver's license is not needed for a person to operate a golf cart, to provide for optional registration of golf carts with the city, and to provide for an updated reference to the Florida statutes for enforcement of golf cart use. That's the purpose of this particular ordinance. You can see in the ordinance what has been struck and what has been added. I believe that it appropriately covers the things that I was given direction to change. It is here for first reading and consideration.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. I'm going to open the public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on this? Come on up, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members as well. My name is Arthur Bean. I live at 3631 Chatham Road. Right now, I'm actually a St. Petersburg College student with the Public Policy Administration Department. So thank you for letting me talk to you guys today. I do agree with the council that there's a lot of concern when adopting a golf cart ordinance and the regulations surrounding it. To have unlicensed drivers between the ages of 14 and 16 could put additional risk on the roads. However, leaving the ordinance as is could cause potential conflicts between the state and such as licensing requirements. So this could cause conflicts such as licensing requirements, insurance, and the 16-year or old requirements right now. But nobody wants to see a 14-year-old being pulled over on the side of the road by law enforcement. So, the issue there. But it's also worth noticing that that the National Library of Medicine's findings from 2007 to 2017, an estimated 156,000 patients were treated in the emergency department for golf cart related injuries. Now, the average patients that were treated in these for traumatic brain injuries, it was 3 times more likely for kids to have injuries than adults, which is very troublesome. They believe that the golf carts used had an increased source of injury for people of all ages, but especially in children. And it was previously brought up that Safety Harbor was the one to look at. So right now in Safety Harbor, they only have a low-speed vehicle ordinance right now. So from Safety Harbor's government webpage, it states, any golf cart in Safety Harbor must be classified as a low-speed vehicle or converted golf cart. So if your golf cart does not meet those standards, such as that valid driver's license, and it is not legal within Safety Harbor, and that's all that is allowed. So as is working well within Safety Harbor, and it can also be imitated here in Oldsmar. I suggest that the golf cart ordinance is actually looked at it being changed to a low-speed vehicle ordinance. It would fix the issue of potential state-city conflicts that are there, and as well as it would also answer the age restrictions, as the low-speed ordinance require licensures to drive. It would also allow the city to keep all aspects of the ordinance that they feel are safety related. So as the city currently has been running a low-speed ordinance with all the stuff that's already there, they could just basically switch it over. Changing the golf cart to a low-speed ordinance would also ensure that the license, insurance, registration, and the age limit, as it could be easily adapted for and legally sound, as the ordinance in Oldsmar has been using all along. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks.
Anyone else would like to speak on this? Please come up.
Hi, my name is James Hummel, 132 Arlington Street. Since March 7th, I've done some research on this, and a lot of people that are going to have golf carts are going to put it as a low-speed vehicle. Now, here's a statistic that I just got the other day. 88% of those people that switch over to a low-speed vehicle do not, I repeat, do not carry insurance with them. So think about the person that's going to get the mail, and you hit that person, and you don't have insurance. And then all of a sudden, you have a lien on your house. And then you say to the city, I need help. I think whatever the city does, you guys done a tremendous job. Mr. Trask has done a great job in research. One thing that needs to be mandated, whether you have low speed, golf cart, anything, that you have a minimum that that person that has that vehicle, low speed vehicle or golf cart, has a minimum of $10,000 property insurance. And I'll give you a perfect, for instance, I finally got the results. There used to be a mobile home park on where the neighborhood Walmart is, where Belcher and Gulf to Bay is, okay? A lady was going out to get her mail. A 10-year-old boy got into a golf cart and was joyriding. He hit the woman. Her medical bills were $672,000. That was her medical bills. They had no insurance, and they lost their house. So all I'm asking is, whatever we decide, let's make sure that who's ever operating a low-speed vehicle or golf cart has insurance to cover the person that they injure or have an accident with. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak for or against this item? With that, I'm going to close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Any other council discussion? Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Graber,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Buckman,
Yes.
Councilmember Now,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Saraki.
Yes.
First reading of ordinance 2023-01, amending the Code of Ordinances to provide that holding or possession of a valid driver license is not needed for a person to operate a golf cart, to provide for optional registration of golf carts with the city, and to provide for an updated reference to Florida statutes for enforcement of golf cart use. Passes with 5 votes for and 0 against.
I have one other thing, Mayor. I didn't have my opportunity to say goodbye to Ann.
Oh.
So we've had a great working relationship over this past 10 years. You're smart, you're funny. I heard integrity twice earlier tonight, and that was my thought immediately upon, Tom, what are you going to say to Ann tonight? And that is integrity. You've got it, and I've always appreciated that. I've always appreciated the fact that I could reach out to you, get almost an immediate response. I've always appreciated your input on the resolutions and ordinances that I've drafted over the years. That's been very, very important to me. I've really, really enjoyed our planning conferences, city staff planning conferences where we've done all sorts of interesting things over the past 10 years. And you brought a lot to the table when we went to those planning sessions. And I will tell you that, you know, we all deal with extreme amount of stress and anxiety being public officials. And one of the things that you brought forward at one of those meetings, first of all, I thought it was the oddest thing I had ever seen or heard, but it really hit home when you did it. And that was, I think it was for 20 minutes, we practiced yoga at a planning session. And I thought to myself, you know, first of all, I would never see myself doing that.
I can't see it either, Tom.
But when you're standing there doing it with 20 other people from the city of Oldsmar, and we're all trying to participate, and we're all thinking, why are we doing this? But we ultimately all determined, in my mind, why we were doing it, and that was just to deal with some of the things that we have to deal with up here. I really appreciated you. And that was one of the things that it kept on reoccurring in my mind. Yeah, we've got to deal with this stress somehow, and the yoga was a good way to do it. So
Thank you.
I'm really going to miss you. I know that you're going to have a wonderful time living in Tennessee. I love it up there, and where you're moving to. It's really an incredible place. Enjoy your retirement. We'll miss you.
Thank you.
Good job, Tom. Thank you so much. Our next item on the agenda will be led by our city manager, Felicia Donnelly.
The next item on the agenda is presentation of the new logo design for the city's branding effort. I would respectfully request that the council postpone this to the April 18th meeting.
Okay, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion to postpone.
Motion to postpone until this agenda item 15 to the April 18th city council meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 16.
Item number 16 is consideration of the request for proposals for the city-owned property south of Tampa Road, north of State Street, and west of Washington. It says Arlington on your agenda, so I want to note that difference. For many years, the city has identified creating a downtown as a priority. To support that effort, on May 3rd, 2022, City Council suspended negotiations with Woodfield and directed the city manager to engage the public and a professional consultant to create a request for development proposals for the city-owned property near City Hall. On June 21st, 2022, the council approved an agreement with GAI Consultants to conduct a community workshop to establish a community vision and mission for the 8-acre property, including City Hall, known as the City Hall site. On July 20th, a workshop was held with about 100 participants to create a mission, vision, goals, and objectives for the site, which was subsequently approved in a letter of interest on August the 16th. On September 6th, the City Council approved the letter of interest solicitation, and they were due on October 14th. GAI Consultants reviewed the 9 letters of interest that were received and made a recommendation to the City Council on November 15th. City Council approved a request for proposals to be sent to 5 specific developers. These 5 developers are the Falcone Group, Pridgeon Development, Skyview Companies, Stanberry Development Group, and Woodfield Development. On January 10th and February 2nd of this year, City Council had specific work sessions to further refine the criteria and the intent for the request for proposals. The attached request for proposals is a product of those previous efforts. If approved, the following tentative schedule is as follows. The RFP will be issued tomorrow to the developers. The proposals will be due on June the 12th. On June 22nd, it's a very important date, there will be a public open house at the Hampton Inn and Suites to gain public feedback. On July 15th, there will be a City Council special meeting to allow formal presentations from the developer, interviews, and scoring. And on August the 1st, there's a possible authorization of negotiation if the council selects a developer. I do want to, before the request for proposals included in your packet, I do want to make an amendment to that as presented on page 310 of the packet. It's item number 6 to strike the last sentence, which is proposers may want to supply alternative proposals based upon these ordinances.
Those conditions.
Of those conditions, thank you. And so we would like to strike that. The city attorney, myself, and GII have discussed that addition, and we really want the developers to give us one proposal, not several, before you all have the opportunity to select that development. The other thing I wanted to clarify is that the word submitter and proposer and within the document and developer are all used interchangeably. So that'll be made clear if it's approved and when it's sent in writing to the 5 proposers. Laura Smith is here from GAI. If you want to come up and say a few words about how this was formulated and to answer any questions.
Absolutely. So thank you all. Again, my name is Laura
Welcome.
Smith. I'm with GAI's Community Solutions Group. And I'd really just like to take this opportunity to commend this group, your council, your staff, because this solicitation process has been incredibly transparent. It has been incredibly publicly focused. And I am really confident that the proposals that come out of this RFP are going to be better for that. I've never seen a council take this much effort to make it a very public and open, engaged process. I know it's taken us a little bit longer, but you've afforded everyone in your community the opportunity to really be heard and participate in the process. And overall, it's been a fantastic experience for us. It's made for really great opportunities to expand and really think about the best ways to approach these types of topics, especially when you're talking about a community downtown like this. With that said, the RFP document that's in front of you today is the result, as your city manager just explained, of consensus building among the public and feedback from those council workshops. And we've worked collaboratively with your staff and your city attorney to prepare this document. And with the exception of that one edit noted by Ms. Donnelly, we feel confident that the RFP at this point is ready to be published. You see the timeline, and you've already had it described in detail as to where that's headed, and we're really excited for all of this to start. We're excited for the open house and to really start seeing how the public responds to the proposals as they, start seeing how everything comes together. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, we're really looking forward to continuing this process with you all.
Thank you. Any questions? Yep, Councilmember Knapp.
Not so much a question, but a request. Could you, for the purposes, because we kind of have a pretty decent understanding of what to, setting expectations for the events that are going to be held on June 22nd and July 15th, could you just take a few minutes to kind of share with the audience what will be going on at each of those events?
Absolutely. So June 22nd is going to be sort of a trade show style open house concept. So the 5 organizations, the 5 firms that we've identified from the LOI will be invited, assuming all 5 respond, of course. They will be invited to participate that day and present information from their proposal. So we're asking that they only present information that is specifically contained in their proposal. They don't present anything new or make any changes, but they bring that and allow the public to come and see what they're proposing for the property visually, so that they can see maybe a site plan, some elevations, some generalized renderings, and that we can then gain some public feedback using comment cards that then we will take back with us following that and use it as we're doing our evaluation of the submittals. And then the 15th is actually, because you've got potentially 5 proposals coming in, it's going to take you a little while to hear presentations on all of those and for you all to do your scoring. So I envision that's probably going to be a bit of a day, but that's, of course, also, if I'm not mistaken, why we're doing it on a Saturday. So that everybody has plenty of time and you're not constrained by evening hours where everybody's starting to get really worn out. So that day will, of course, be open to the public, which, again, I think is really fantastic that y'all are going to do that and allow everyone to be here and see exactly how the scoring goes. So that's kind of the shape up of those 2 days. And then assuming you guys have a firm that ranks highest that you end up selecting, then August 1st, you might just head into negotiations with someone for that site.
Thank you. And one follow-up question on the topic of questions. I think we had discussed it in one of our work sessions that, you had mentioned comment cards, but basically that the public would have the opportunity to submit questions. They may be able to get them answered there, but we would capture that and then kind of produce an answer packet that would be used in that July 15th meeting. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, for them to, when they do their presentations. So when the individual firms that submitted their proposals, if the people that come to the public open house, if they submit questions that they would like to see addressed, we'll provide those back to them and ask them to address those at that time. And hopefully get those questions resolved so that everyone doesn't have to come up and ask their individual questions. They can go ahead and write them on their comment cards. But yes, we'll assemble those.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great job. Anything else? No? Okay. Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, motion to approve as
Okay.
amended.
A motion to approve is amended.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 17.
Item number 17, authorize the city attorney to draft an ordinance amending section 2.1 of Article 2, definitions of Part 3 of the city's land development code to revise the definition of portable sign. The portable sign definition is being revised to include signs bearing a non-commercial message and carried by a person in traditional places. City became aware of a federal appeals court case, LaCroix versus the town of Fort Myers Beach, where the court determined that a similarly worded provision had the effect of preventing a person from carrying a sign in traditional public areas. Ronnie Blackshear, our principal planner, is here to give a presentation.
Welcome, Ronnie. Thank you.
Good evening. For the record, Ronnie Blackshear with the City of Oldsmar, Planning and Redevelopment Department. This presentation is on Article 2, definitions with the Land Development Code text amendment dealing with portable signs. As a background, signs provide an important medium to communicate a variety of commercial and non-commercial messages. Signs can assist a jurisdiction in creating and enhancing community identity. Appropriate regulations confirm signs that do not pose a threat to public safety, become a detriment to property values, or detract from community aesthetics. It is important to ensure that government regulations of signs does not infringe upon the protections afforded by the U.S. Constitution. There are 2 levels of review that signs go through. First is content-based, which deals with the content of a sign. And the courts look at this in the way of the regulation must be narrowly tailored to serve a compelling governmental interest. It's reviewed at the highest level that the courts look at, which is called strict scrutiny. The next level of review is content neutral, and this is where most jurisdictions and those who actually write code for sign regulations want to go under and write their codes with regards to content neutral language. Deals with time, place, and manner. The regulation must be narrowly tailored to serve a significant governmental interest, and this level of review is called intermediate scrutiny. The City of Oldsmar understands the importance of signs and has taken steps to balance the interests of all stakeholders. This amendment deals with portable signs definition. It's to clarify that a sign bearing a non-commercial message and carried by a person in traditional public places is not considered a portable sign. The city was made aware of this court case, LaCroix versus the town of Fort Myers Beach, where the court determined a similarly worded provision had the effect of preventing a person from carrying a sign in traditional public places. The request for this text amendment was reviewed against the standards of approval outlined in section 3.13.2 of the LDC, Land Development Code. The amendment complies with the comprehensive plan and advances the purpose of the Land Development Code. The comprehensive plan requires orderly and concise development and design practices. The Land Development Code's purpose is to promote the public health, safety, and general welfare through reasonable, consistent, and non-discriminatory sign standards. The amendment will contribute to promote the community's welfare. The proposed amendment includes simple, straightforward language to ensure a common understanding by all affected parties. The proposed amendment increases compliance with the sign regulations, aid code enforcement efforts by lessening code violations, and simplifying code investigations. The amendment will not grant a special privilege to an individual property owner. Exemption and special treatment of certain types of signs could give rise to heightened scrutiny by the courts. Regulations must have a neutral effect, time, place, and manner on speech and should not define the content of the sign. And that's where we get into the content-based versus content-neutral language. The amendment introduces language which balances aesthetic, economic, and safety interests while allowing freedom of speech. The recommendation Based upon the information provided, staff finds the proposed text change request amendment to the portable sign definition consistent with the Oldsmar Comprehensive Plan, Land Development Code, and recommends approval of CA 23-02. And I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions for staff? No? Okay. This is a new agenda item. Thank you for your presentation. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item 18.
Item number 18, consider and ratify federal appropriations request for Safe Routes to School project along St. Petersburg Drive from Bayview Boulevard to Oakwood Boulevard. Supporting the council priority, I submitted a community project federal appropriations funding request to Representative Ana Paulina Luna's office on Friday, March 10th. The proposed project in the amount of $1.5 million would improve pedestrian infrastructure around Oldsmar Elementary School, make it safer and more accessible for students, especially those from economically disadvantaged families living in nearby housing. The project will enhance existing sidewalks, install safety measures such as signage and signals, and beautify the surrounding area with landscaping. The project is necessary to provide a safe and healthy way for students to get to and from school, with benefits to students, the community, and taxpayers, such as increased safety, enhanced property values, and economic and social benefits. I recommend approval of the submission. If the City Council does not approve, I will withdraw the request.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I got a second.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Thank you.
So I got something I'd like to add. I was in DC with the PSTA, and I was with Paula Luna's office, Anna Paulina Luna's office, and they were like scrambling to say that their appropriations had to be in by Friday. So I texted Felicia right away, so thank you so much for your hard work in getting that done for us. Really appreciate it. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for all you do for our city. Next is our city clerk. Karen Nixon.
Item 19, schedule special meeting for ranking of development proposals for city-owned property, including City Hall site. This, the city special meeting, was tentatively scheduled for Saturday, July 15, 2023 at 9 o'clock a.m. in Council Chamber, 101 State Street West, Oldsmar. That's a Saturday.
Yep, this is a
Long
new,
day.
Yep, this is a new agenda
Yes,
item.
for pizza.
Would you say pizza?
She said ask for pizza.
Oh, ask for pizza? Does anybody want to ask for pizza?
An official recommendation.
All right, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion on this item? All right, we're going to be there all day on Saturday with pizza. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is appoint vice mayor to serve March 21st, 2023 through the second regular council meeting of March 2024. And first of all, I want to start out by thanking Vice Mayor Buckman for your service as the vice mayor of the city. There were several times where I was not able to attend certain meetings, and you did serve, which is the reason for the vice mayor, and I want to thank you for your service. You've been outstanding. Considering it was your first year as a council member, you stepped up to the plate, and I want to thank you very much for that. And
Thank you, Mayor.
you're welcome. And with that, I would like to ask council member Knapp if you'd like to be vice mayor.
I would be happy to serve as the vice mayor.
Okay, thank you, council member, vice mayor. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on our agenda is the council comments, and Councilmember Gannon, you go first.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Nothing from me, though. I said what I needed to say tonight to our beloved city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Perfect. Councilmember Buckman.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I really appreciate the opportunity to serve the past year, Mayor. I really appreciate the opportunity. I remember when or was it Hurricane Ian coming towards us? It was the weight of this job came into play and understanding, because I think you were out of town and Felicia called me and said, hey, I'm coming to your house to sign this. And it was really, the weight of this job really hits when things like that happen. You start to understand your responsibility and things that are going on. But I want to go back, and I'm not going to discuss them, but item 13 and 14 tonight, not to discuss them in detail, but when we talk about the civic process, these two items that came before us, citizens came to us with a concern, addressed the concern, came to public forum. We brought these issues to staff. Staff worked on these issues. We found ways to correct them, to make sure that we were right with the law, to make sure we were right with state law, to do all the right things, and the process worked. And I think it's amazing because I hear from, like, the council doesn't listen to me or these things. We're listening, we're hearing, we're here for you, right? We're here to make those changes if they comply with the law, if they comply with federal, state, and local laws. So I want to applaud the people that came forward. I don't remember the lady's name that came forward, the girl with the golf cart, but Vince for coming forward. You know, these are issues that affected every single one of our citizens, and I think it was important to understand that the process works. Other than that, I'm excited about Oldsmar Days and Nights coming up this weekend. I know my kids are excited. I have to find a way to, because as the gentleman said, I'm concerned about my 14-year-old driving my golf cart, but I know Abby's out there itching and saying, I want to drive it, I want to drive it. I'm like, not yet. Let's see what we can do. So excited about Oldsmar Days and Nights and looking forward to it.
Great job. All right. Vice Mayor, now.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. Got a chance to participate in the Armadillo Run, excuse me, this past weekend. I do apologize if the street closures went a little longer than expected, as me and my two kids brought up the rear of the pack in the 5K. But it was a great time, and there was a really great turnout for that event. So looking forward to doing that for many times in the future. Looking forward to Oldsmar Days coming up this weekend. It's exciting to hear we have record turnout or sign up for vendors out there in the field. So I think we will have a great weekend ahead of us for everybody here in Oldsmar. I don't know if you're going to mention this, Mayor, but I figured I'd touch on it. Representative Luna was actually here in Oldsmar last week at the trustee luncheon, so hopefully she might have been able to put in a good word for some funding for us with her while she was here in our presence. I wanted to commend the Scouts for toughing it out through this whole meeting tonight.
You picked a
About
good one.
20 to 25 years ago, I was in your position out there as aspiring, ultimately becoming an Eagle Scout. I know I saw one, right? Is there any more? Okay, so we got one. And then I know I saw at least 2 hearts, right? 2 hearts, 3?
Yes.
So
Good job,
on the
guys.
cusp, they're on the cusp. So big shout out to the Scouts as well as the parents for being here tonight. It was brought to my attention before the meeting. We actually have a plaque over there for Troop 64 that used to exist here in Oldsmar for Eagle Scouts. I wonder if it would be cool to maybe have a plaque for Scouts that came here, and who's getting a merit badge requirement fulfilled tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come
There
on,
we go.
right?
There
All
we
right.
go.
So maybe it'd be a cool idea to, like, Scouts that, even if they're not necessarily from Oldsmar, if they came here and got their merit badge requirement fulfilled, to get their name up on the wall when they get Eagles. So a little incentive, right?
That would be really
I like
Thank
that.
you for coming out tonight. I hope scouting takes you far and in great places in the future. And then just one final thing, would like to wish my late grandmother a happy heavenly birthday. Thank you, Mayor.
Excellent. All right, Councilmember Graber.
Thank you, Mayor. Exciting weekend coming up. Sad day, and we'll miss you so much. But congratulations on your retirement. But speaking of birthdays, a certain 4-year-old turns 5 in our house this weekend. So once again, he gets a parade and a carnival. He's getting kind of a complex about that. Got the same thing last year. But we're excited about moving forward. Thank you for your service, Vice Mayor Buckman. Congratulations, Vice Mayor Knapp. That's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I just have a couple items. I want to what Vice Mayor Knapp said about the chamber luncheon. And one thing you left out was going to DC to meet with Anna Luna. Felicia, our city manager, did an amazing PowerPoint presentation about our city, and I really feel that impressed her very much, and I just wanted to thank you for that. I wanted to just add that to what the vice mayor said. When I was in DC, I met with Anna Paulina Luna. I also met with Gus Bilirakis and the Department of Transportation. That was a really educational experience, meeting with the Federal Transportation Committee and some of the big wigs up there. That was really, really impressive. And the reason why I went with the PSTA is because the PSTA is getting 60 new electrical buses. They're getting rid of their diesel fleet. And we went up there because we want to redo our infrastructure at the headquarters so that we can charge these. We want to put in a parking cover garage or parking lot with solar panels. We want to add solar panels to the building so that we can charge these 60 buses at night and completely go green to save our environment. So that's why we were there, excuse me, and met with the Department of Transportation. We're trying to get some funding for that. I also want to give everyone a PSTA update because I noticed that Councilmember Buckman, you give updates for Fort Pinellas, and Councilmember Councilmember Gannon gives updates for the safe streets and transportation with the education. So a couple things. Overall ridership was up 27% in January over January 22. The Sunrunner, which is the new rapid transit system that goes from downtown St. Petersburg all the way to the beach. Ridership has increased every month since October of 22, and we're actually getting emails from residents that they want us to already add more Sunrunner buses, because what's happening is it is such a popular transportation system that the people are filling up the buses to go to work at the beach, and it's packed. They're not big enough because of certain restrictions. So they're asking for more buses and more increased time for buses. We also talked about a new Sunrunner station, which we're working with the mayor of St. Petersburg, Ken Welch, agreed to start the design of additional station close to the St. Petersburg waterfront pier, and that station should be open around 2024. On February 15th of 2023, every bus in Pinellas County, you can now just walk up with your credit card and just touch or put your credit card in and pay for your fare. No more need for a pass. It's all credit card or debit card payments are allowed. Duke Energy electric bus charging infrastructure. Duke Energy has begun construction of the first 60 high voltage chargers for PSTA's growing fleet of zero emission battery powered buses. So basically they have come in, they're starting to dig up all the ground underneath the parking lot to start running this infrastructure to charge these buses. I talked about the Washington DC, the Clearwater Transit Center next month. PSTA and the city of Clearwater will officially close on the property swap, including the land where the new transit center will be built for Clearwater, which is going to be, the old building is falling down and we need to get rid of that. And that's all I have, I believe. Yep, that's all I have. So next item on the agenda is approved tentative agenda for April 4th, 2023 council meeting. Does anyone wish to pull or add anything to the agenda?
I need to add something, Mayor.
Yes.
Good to add swearing in new city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Okay.
Is it on there?
It's on there?
Is it updated one? Okay.
Oh, it's on there? Okay.
But never mind.
All right, thank you.
Been added.
We good with everything else? All right, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
How about a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Let's use this because we're building a theater district.
Oh my.
This meeting is adjourned. Oh, one more thing, Ann's video. We have one more video to show, sorry.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Thank you, Ann.
Now you can bang again.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Come on up. Sure. Everyone want to take a quick picture with the Boy Scouts?
Here in Troop 64. Okay, nice. I got mine in